So I have asked these guys each to talk on something that I feel they give great advice on. We're going to start with Emma. And the question we have for Emma is, what advice do you have helping people transition to social media?
So if you aren't on social media yet at all, and you're transitioning over, but while you're building your social media presence, go and find other people that want to use social media. My personal sponsor in the business doesn't use social media at all, but she's really great at finding people that do. So that is my number one tip. Number two, I spoke about it briefly earlier, but it's to know your audience. So when I first joined, I looked at the biophotonic scanner and I thought, that's amazing. I'm going to just go and find loads of personal trainers. I don't know anything about personal training. I don't even really go to the gym that often. So how am I going to talk to these people? That didn't work. What did work was when I started connecting with mums-to-be, other females that have been in the corporate world that don't want to be there anymore, or that have been involved in startup businesses like I have. And as soon as I started connecting with people like me, that's when my business moved. So just really know your audience and know who you're going to connect with. And I found that business grows quicker when you connect with people that are like you. So that's what you're looking for. And just a couple of tips is not to turn your social media pages into selling pages. So many people do that. They all of a sudden get introduced to the opportunity and you just see pages and pages of mud masks, toothpaste, galvanic spa, and it just looks like a selling page. It's so off-putting. So that nice mix of posts, which Hazel was talking about earlier, is perfect. And how many times should you post? So Facebook, we obviously said 3 or 6 posts a day, but at least 3, and a nice mix. But on Instagram, you can actually post up to 15 times a day without being annoying to your audience. And on Twitter, I think it's an average of 22 times a day you can tweet out. So there's so much scope for this business on social media, and that's just a few of my best tips.
Thank you, Emma. So everybody heard what Emma said. Start posting today and make sure that you're posting the stuff about you. Okay, next, Megs. How do you create fun and engaging content in social media?
Okay, so one thing I want to point out first to you guys is what I think is really important is that your personality carries your brand. So it's really important to start to be authentic regardless of what platform that you feel most comfortable on. So I focus on one particular platform, although I can repurpose that onto other platforms. So my personality, for me, works best in short segment videos. And so that's why I have chosen Snapchat as my platform of choice, because I can be creative with products. I can be creative with my puppy, which I have created literally a Snapchat show that is previewed every day on my channel that includes my dog and sometimes new skin products. And people come back every day to watch Churro Time. And what they get with Churro Time is a preview of other things that go on in my life, whether that's a mud mask on Wednesday, because Wednesday is the night that I do mud masks, so people know to come back to my channel on Wednesday night for a mud mask, and that creates that engagement. But just to be yourself and also know that you can use that platform to repurpose on other channels. So for Instagram, for instance, for me, and maybe even Holly here is a Facebook Live expert where she can sit on camera live for hours, and I'm absolutely uncomfortable with that. So you're going to catch me more so in a quick snippet, sharing something fun or, behind the scenes. I love interviewing total strangers on the streets. I do that all the time, and it's just fun, and it catches people off guard, but it really creates interest with the people that are viewing your story. So like the girl said, it's important to know your audience, and those are the kind of things that my audience loves, but at the same time, they're asking me, what do you put on your face on Wednesday night? Like that's and so that creates a conversation, right? And then from those snippets of videos, I can easily take that, save it to my camera roll, and repurpose that on other channels. For Instagram, a single post of a photo, or a Twitter card, which gets way more engagement than 140 characters, right? Because pictures speak a lot louder than words. And so what you don't want to do is be the same person across all your platforms. Yes, you want to be real and you want to be authentic, but you don't want to create one post and put it on Twitter and on Instagram and on Facebook and on Snapchat, because you're going to be boring and no one's going to want to hear from you again. So
Thank you. All right. Next, we are going to. Oh, look, I took the mic right away from you, Holly. So Holly is, I need to preface this quickly. Holly was invited by Facebook to come to Facebook Live's public launch. She was Facebook Living at Facebook's launch. Do you guys see what a big deal that is? It's amazing. Our own Holly, who's here to tell us a little bit about Facebook Live. She's also been invited to go out next week again to another Facebook event. So we are learning from her about how Facebook Live is going to change the way we do the business. And also, I've asked her to share how a blog will fit into our social strategy. Blogs have a very different lifespan and feeling than other places in social media. So she's going to talk about those too.
So yes, we all got, those of us who are not celebrities, we all got Facebook Live a little over a month ago. So you have that on your personal profile on Facebook, and you also have it on a business page if you have one, and you also have it in any groups that you might be involved in. And if those groups are private, then those videos will be private as well. So I have been waiting a long time for video. I've been a video kind of somebody who, I just found video was a lot easier for me than writing. I've been a blogger for 10 years. And so I was able to I had a carpal tunnel and a shoulder issue, so video was just easy. But I don't like editing video, and I'm just if I had to do a whole bunch of stuff to it afterwards, it would never get done. And so that's what I fell in love with live video, with Google Hangouts and then Periscope and Meerkat, and then I was waiting for Facebook Live because I was tired of building things. You know, I had to build another audience to talk to them. But on Facebook, I already have an audience, and you have your friends already, and you already have influence, on that platform. So Facebook Live was a perfect fit. And so I just started going live. And the thing is nobody feels comfortable on video the first 100 times you do it, maybe 1,000 times you do it. So the fact that me telling you to go live this afternoon is giving you a panic attack. That's how I feel. And I just have done it, and it has been an amazing way to reach out and talk to the people that want to talk to me. And the cool thing is when you're live, the people who are watching are commenting, and you can say their names and you can answer their questions, and they may ask you questions that you would have never thought to give the answers to. So I would really encourage you to do that. And what's so nice about it, if it's on your page, then once you're done live, it's going to go onto your video page. And your video page on Facebook is just like a YouTube channel. You can make playlists. So you could have a product playlist. You could have a inspirational playlist. Whatever you're talking about, you could create playlists for that. And then we've been talking about engagement today on Facebook and how your posts are just reaching so few of your fans. Let me say this, and why this is so important for you to do this right away, is your live video, while it's live, has priority in 100% of your fans' stream that are online. So if you're wanting engagement, this is the way to get it. And in fact, Facebook said when I was out there about a week ago, they said live video is getting 10 times the comments of any other post on Facebook. And I actually think it's higher than that from my, I did a live video this morning out. The tulips are gorgeous out there. Just showed the tulips, and I had 360 comments by the time I was done. So those are 360 people who I touched this morning, and that's not even counting the people that watched and just lurked. So there's a power there, and the ability for you to let them see your personality and who you are and be authentic, and it doesn't have to be pretty. It just needs to be done, and you'll get better at it every single time. So I am a blogger, and that's what I've been doing for the last 10 years. And what I love about blogs is it gives you the ability to tell a complete story. So, if you're feeling like, oh, I'm not being able to tell a complete story on Facebook or Snapchat or Instagram, this gives you the ability to kind of combine all those things and embed the different parts that you want to tell. So maybe you embed a video in it. And so if you feel like you haven't been able to tell a complete story, a blog might be a really good thing for you, because you can then keep telling that story over time. And I also feel like if you are a Pinterest person, that a blog is a necessity if you want to combine those, because it's hard to have influence on Pinterest without having a blog to send them to.
Holly, I want you to add one more thing. You talked about it this morning about blocking words on Facebook Live. Let's add that piece in.
So on your Facebook page, and this is just for anybody with a Facebook page, you might want to do this anyway. You go into settings and into moderation, your page moderation, and you can block words. So for one, I block a lot of the competitors' words. I block words that are not used nicely in the English language or whatever language you're in. And when I get ugly comments, then what I do is I'll go in and take the keywords from that comments and add it to my banned word list in the page moderation. Now what that does is it will, anytime someone uses that word on your Facebook page, their comment will be hidden to everybody except for them and their friends. So they still think they put that ugly comment, but they didn't. So what's nice about that is there is a fear of live that, people will say ugly things to you. I will say I got live at 5 o'clock on a Friday afternoon. I was live at 5:30. My second comment was, "You're so ugly." And I was like, "Thanks, Facebook. That's a nice welcome." So you got to just go with it. And you know what? Ugly is now on my banned word list, and that will not show up again.
Thank you, Holly. She is brilliant. Come listen to her Social 101 on this stuff. Rebecca, let's get the mic to you. Rebecca's going to talk to us. How do you balance doing the business face-to-face and in social media? How do you see it different, and how is it the same?
So social media is how I was attracted to the business. So back 3.5 years ago, it was attraction marketing through two relatives of mine that I reached out to them in person and said, "Will you show me what you do?" So it's kind of come full circle, but I didn't start my business using social media. That's how I came in, but then I built in the traditional format. And then what happened was, as I started to travel, I started to leave my job, I was taking success trips, these pictures were popping up on Facebook, and so I had my network seeing all of this. And so messages started to come in asking what I was doing. So it kind of naturally started to happen, and then about a year ago is when I really started to emphasize using social media and having a point to using it, and not just kind of, oh yeah, Hawaii pictures. So what I've done is, when I get a message from somebody, I will not just go blah, 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 this is what I do, and just respond with that. What I do is I turn around and I ask them questions. What do they do? Where are they from? How long have they done what they've done? Do they see themselves being there for much longer? And really, the point is to find the pain. Why are they asking me what I do? Is it just curiosity? Is it because they want to go on a trip? Or is it they're looking for a replacement income or a change in career? And so when I find that pain, then I will turn the conversation to, okay, would you be open to taking a look at what I do? And when I ask them that and I get a yes, I say, okay, what is a good time and number to reach you? And so then my point is to take it offline and get a phone number. Because my thing is, I like voice to voice, but I also am not the person that likes voice to voice initially. I like building a relationship first, because like you've heard a lot of us are not comfortable face to face with people. And so that's where social media has been a benefit. I joked about this earlier this morning, but I was an accountant for a reason. I don't like personal interactions very often. So that's where social media has been a blessing. And so, but I do take it offline once I have established that rapport with that person and I get them on the phone, and then I start the process of an invitation, a presentation, a follow-up with validation. And the phone number is where I have to have that to provide the validation partner at that point. So that's how I've used them together. They are very similar, either or, whether you're offline or online. Like I said, it's an invite, it's a presentation, and it's a follow-up. So you can do it either way. I like taking it offline a little bit. That's what's worked for me, and so far so good.
Thank you. Isn't Rebecca great? Okay, Hazel. Just running around the stage here. So Hazel, when you first talk to people in social media about the business, how do you gauge their interests? Your 3 types of people.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so as you know, I build my business through Facebook, so there's a lot of messages that go on, and I really read into what we're saying. I really take notice of words that they're using. So I look for 3 different types of people. I look for our distributors who want to retail the products. I actually look for distributing executives that have a really good network and they can sell a lot, but they still haven't got them skills yet in to build a business. And then I look for the executive leaders as well. And I can tell by the words that they use. So the distributors usually say the words that I'll try. So when people are throwing I'll try, I know that, okay, so at the moment, they're kind of in the distributor box, if that makes sense. The people that say to me, I'll do my best, I'm like, these are our distributing executives, that they're really going to give this a lot of effort. They're going to get quite far, but they've still got a lot of skills to learn. And when I speak to people that say, I will do what it takes, I know for a fact that these are the key people that I want to work really closely with and we're going to build a fantastic business with. Now, obviously, people do switch and change as they go through their development journey, but they're the 3 types of people that I look for, and there's a reason why we have 2 ears and 1 mouth. You ask the questions and then you listen. Just Rebecca said, you want to find their pain. Why are they asking you these questions? Why do they want to know more? What is it? Because then you can determine where you're going to put them in your categories. And yes, they are going to change, but to start with, that's going to help you in your role with how to get them started, which is probably, I think it's the hardest part actually of this business, is getting people started, because that's where the struggles have always been, because we haven't determined how much information should I give someone. And this way, if they're a distributor, I know I give them basic info. I just give them product info, the tools and where to find things. If they're, a slight step up, then I can start talking to them about the compensation plan. If they really want to go full ahead, then I know that I can overload them with information and they will take the time and the accountability to go through it and set that structure for them. So they're the 3 people that I look for.
So what kind of people are you? Are you going to give it your best shot? Are you guys going to do everything you have to do? Yeah, I think so. So we have Ben joining us through Skype. He's at home today. Hi, Ben. Ben's going to talk to us about why it's so important to be authentic in social media.
Just thank you for setting all this up. I know it's very crazy that I'm talking to you guys over at home over Skype, and this kind of calms the nerves so I don't have to be in front of you guys as well. But thank you for setting this up. And being authentic is so important in social media, is because it gives the chance of the people to look into your life, a glance of how a new scheme business person can work. And a lot of the times they have a stick to network marketing and just direct sell, because they're like, oh, I don't want to touch that. But if we can show them through social media, through our life, through Instagram, through live Facebook, we can show them that this is how it's done. It's not what they think or some like stuff that they believe online that they read, but we show them a difference that we can make. And this is very important, because when they meet you in person or they finally join you and join your team, they can relive what they thought they saw on Instagram or Facebook. And a great example from my own experience is that when I was still in Vancouver, a person read my stuff for a year and they didn't follow me, they didn't like my stuff, but they were reading it. Like, they just come back and kind of like checking in and kind of like, hey, is he still doing it? Is he still keeping it up? And after a year, he finally messaged me and he approached me and said, hey, tell me more about what you're doing. I'm interested. And through that, he was on the other side of Canada in Toronto. So I was able to meet him, and like he ultimately became a Ruby. And the funniest thing is he used the same method to recruit someone back in Vancouver when he was in Toronto. So using social media is really around the globe. You really can achieve, and with New Skin, with in different countries, we can really mix both together and just really live the whole New Skin experience. And the funny part is that ultimately, the other girl who was in Vancouver, they met the guy who recruited her through the success trip. So we promote that in our team as well, so that when we meet them in real in the trips, so they can actually meet the real person that they kind of know, but they've only met them through social media and maybe Skype or even Facebook Live.
Thank you, Ben. I feel like we're getting a lot of that here today with Scott talking about Hazel and Emma. You know, you have these relationships and then you finally meet in person and you know so much about each other. I love that. We have time for 2 questions from the audience. Does anyone have a question? Okay, we've got one right here, Brandon. And then we'll come back to you.
How do you keep track of the people that you're connecting with? Do you have their names on a board? How do you?
Ladies, Ben, who wants it?
So if I meet somebody that I think is going to be absolutely amazing in the business, but they haven't said yes yet, I never ever count anything as a no. It's a not now, because it means the timing's not right. So for those people, and I want to visualize them being in my business. I know they'd be amazing. I have them on my whiteboard and I'm looking at them every day and thinking they are going to be on my front line. For everybody else, they're on my Excel spreadsheet. Everyone that knows me knows I'm so bad with computers and technology. If I can create an Excel spreadsheet, anyone can. All it has is a list of names down the side and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 across the top. And in the boxes, it will say what the exposure to the business has been, on what day, and most importantly, what they've said. And if they've given me any key information, like if they've said they've got a holiday coming up, because then I've got a reason to follow up with them and say, oh, hey, how was your holiday? And it, you know, keeping that relationship building rather than, oh, so have you thought any more about that business opportunity I told you about? Because people don't want to be hunted down. We want to carry on building those relationships.
All right, right back there.
Thank you. My question is related to, once you've gone through the process of identifying your prospect and you're taking an order, do you direct them to your site, or do you get checks or set up a account for people to send money into if you're placing a big order? I was just interested on transitioning that from social media. What mechanism do you use to let them go purchase the product?
I'm going to let every single person answer this question because I know that you all do it slightly different. So instead of just having one of them answer, I'm going to pass it down, and then Ben, after Hazel, I'm going to have you answer that as well.
Well, this is one I've been playing with because I started on the other side of this. Like I had the kind of the influence, but didn't have the product. And I started off doing more of a sales thing where I was sending people directly to the ops and stuff, and I didn't have a good results because when you're doing that, you're competing against Nordstrom and like other stores that have a whole bunch of people doing that. So what I've done is taken that more to the traditional network marketing where it's coming in as a message, and then it's more of a relationship.
I personally believe that the most success that I have is through engagement, just direct engagement. So what I do is I track where I'm most successful with this process. So say I post something on Facebook and or run some kind of promotional ad or something like that just to create curiosity, and I get an inbox of messages. There I can lead them to the ops page, and I think that's it's just a quick, easy process. They're less engaging with me there just because I don't spend every single day on Facebook. Through my Snapchat app, there has become, they've just released a new update where you can take the conversation a little bit further behind the scenes of your actual post, where there's now voice texting and sending pictures and mini movies back and forth. So I actually use that app to demonstrate the product when I get curiosity, because once I create a series of 10-second stories, people do text you privately and behind the scenes of the app and say, you know, where do I get this, or how do I get this? And I won't just shoot them a purchasing link. I want to further engage with them and create that relationship. And so I save those conversations and we go back and forth through a series of text or voice notes, because I've found that through the voice messaging, there is an extreme amount of trust that is built there. I have no idea why, but for some reason, through video and behind the scenes on that, it's even more personal than them just viewing my story. And so once I get them there, I've literally had people shoot me their credit card information through the back end of Snapchat, which is crazy. But then I create that relationship and continue that. And then I will personally sometimes even ship the product if I have some on me there, and just directly, 2-day ship it to them. And then I ask them to create a story for me. Let me see how you're using the product. Let me see how you love the product. And then from there, I can actually coach them into, or maybe even get them into a distributor process. So.
For me, I'm more the traditional, where I take their information. I don't send the ops link to them. I want to control placing that order, making sure it goes through in a timely manner. That's just my control freak side. Because some people, like we said, there's a competition and it may not be a priority right then for them, but it is for us because it's our business. So we want the business now. So I take the order so I can place it now instead of, oh, here's my link, go to it when you feel necessary. So I take the order myself.
I think it might be slightly different for us in the UK with our shipping prices and things, but what I've found is that if I've got someone interested in products, if I give them a link to go and sign themselves up as a customer and order, people don't tend to do it, or they'll sign themselves up and then see the shipping costs and they don't do it. So what we've been doing in the UK is we've been advertising products, and we've been saying that we can ship for whatever the cost is that our post office will charge us, and then people will pay us via PayPal for the cost of the product and the shipping on top. The product will come to us, we'll order the products in, then we'll repackage them and post them out.
Just to add on to Emma, as is exactly the same, but it's really powerful. So I don't have any online customers whatsoever. I do everything through myself. That's just how we've built the business. And it's really powerful because when we're doing our orders come into us before we post it out. And we actually get a lot of customers when we post our orders that come through. So because say we had, 10 whitening toothpaste, for example, and I posted that, just like, oh, delivery day, like make it exciting. You're creating curiosity and engagement still. Whereas if it was through the online option, we can't really be doing that the same way. So we usually have stock at our houses. And for my team members that say I can't afford to do that, what we do with them is that we have a Sunday, we have a day, usually Sunday, where we place our orders. So from Monday to Saturday, we do our attraction marketing, we gain our orders, we gain payments through PayPal, bank transfer, cash if they're local, and then we place our orders on a Sunday. So we have like a little routine for anyone wherever they fit, basically.
So depending on where the customer is, so if they're local within the same city, we usually want to deliver in person to build the relationship, and through that they either pay us through PushPay or PayPal or other apps as well. And if they're in a different country, we take the order, like whatever they want to place, we take the order, we order it for them. I sign up everything for them, and then they pay us through email transfer or PayPal as well.
Did that answer your question? Okay. In stereo with all of my panel. Okay, that's all the time we have for our panel. Can I get a warm thank you to our panel people? Were they awesome? Thanks, you guys.